Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. We're going to talk about Doom, the Dark Ages. This game's coming out this year, 2025, the latest in the modern Doom series from id Software. I think it looks fantastic from what I saw of the trailer that was released sometime last year, 2024. And looks like there was a developer direct that just came out yesterday from, it was an Xbox Showcase or something like that. Let's watch it together and we'll talk about it. But first, we'll cue up the music.
Hello, and welcome to Dallas, Texas, home of id Software, where more than 30 years ago, a small team of game developers helped define and set a course for first-person shooters. A lot has changed since then, but our team is as passionate as ever, and the most important values at the core of our games, innovation, craftsmanship, and performance, remain a priority for us to this day.
And as you're about to see, those values are infused in every aspect of this latest installment in the legendary Doom franchise. It is an honor to work on this game, to carry on id's tradition of creating all-out, groundbreaking levels of fun.
So now, we're excited to share with you a look at our most ambitious game yet. This is Doom, the Dark Ages.
That was so stupid, I mouthed the words.
Well, I can't blame them for being excited. I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. I've been a fan of Doom since the original game. I remember playing it back on PC 100 years ago. Well, 30 years ago. May as well be 100 at this point in gaming years. Absolutely loved it. Doom 2 was fantastic as well. There were a couple missteps along the way, but in 2016 when Doom was kind of reinvented on the PlayStation 4, I got it. Absolutely loved that game. The whole run and gun aspect was a complete blast. The story was fantastic, a lot of fun. And then Doom Eternal came out afterward with the was it the Old Gods DLC as well. That one I didn't like so much with all the jumping around and all that. It wasn't my cup of tea as much as Doom 2016, but it was still an absolute blast. I've loved Doom for years and years and years. I cannot wait for this game. Let's keep going.
In Doom, the Dark Ages, you will feel like the superweapon in the center of a medieval war against hell. Set in a cinematic sci-fi fantasy world full of locations to explore, powerful weapons to unlock, and enemies to conquer. This is a prequel to Doom 2016, and that's given us the opportunity to reimagine every aspect of this experience. So if you're new to the franchise, then Doom, the Dark Ages will be the perfect entry point into the series. And if you're a longtime fan, then you'll be proud to see, in a lot of ways, the feel of the game is really a return to form. So let's break it down, starting with the combat. In Doom Eternal, you felt like a fighter jet. In Doom the Dark Ages, you'll be an iron tank. Heavy, strong, but still fast. A grounded combat system with an emphasis on power over the acrobatics of Doom Eternal. And a balance between enemy projectiles and player movement speed that makes strafing to aim viable again, just like in the classic Doom games. But it's not all about nostalgia. Innovation is the goal, always. And so for Doom the Dark Ages, it's an all-new world with new tools and new mechanics to master. Let me introduce you to the Shield Saw.
All right, let's talk about this thing. When I first saw it in the trailer, I was like, what? Doom guy with a freaking shield? There's no way. And then I saw how they weaponized it, and it made perfect sense. It kind of takes the place of the chainsaw if you think about it, and it makes perfect sense in the context of this game. Now, what's neat here, okay, the Dark Ages, right? We look at this as a more of a medieval game, but there's still weaponry in here, like guns. So, when you think the Dark Ages, we think the Dark Ages maybe on Earth. We see him fighting with flails and stuff like that type of weaponry. But he's also got the classic double shotgun. He's got a gun that seems to shoot iron or metal spikes of some sort. So even though there are guns, they have this weird ancient look to them. The one gun that's crushing up skulls to shoot is just, oh my God, it's sick looking. So the design of the weaponry is fantastic. The game looks spot on, incredible. The demon design is fantastic. Doom guy looks amazing. The gameplay looks like a lot of fun too. I enjoy the tankiness of the game. I'm the type of guy that likes to get into a fight and just rush right into battle and just trade blows and beat the crap out of my enemy and, that sort of thing. So this is right up my alley. Let's keep going.
Block. Throw. Parry. Deflect. All from one input. It's contextual. Tons of depth on a single button press. We want every Doom game to stand on its own as a unique experience. So in 2016, we asked you to run and gun. In Doom Eternal, it was jump and shoot. And in Doom the Dark Ages, you're gonna stand and fight. And the Shield Saw will give you the strength to go head to head with some of the biggest, baddest demons we've ever created at id. But that's not all. Because if you're gonna stand and fight, then you gotta have something to follow up that opening parry with. How about an iron flail? Or maybe an electrified gauntlet? Or even a doom spiked mace? That's right, we have 3 melee options that are part of a melee system. All on one input, complete with combos and upgrades. And it's totally awesome. And you can finish off the demons now with an all-new, unsynced, completely in the player's control glory kill system. From any angle, in and out, as you see fit. And it feels amazing. You'll feel unstoppable smashing your way through the horde with total freedom. And that seems like a ton, but that's just 2 inputs. We got one more really important button that we haven't talked about yet.
Ooh, what's that going to be? I love the glory kill thing, man. That's always been a fun part of the game. These last 2 games have been fantastic with these just brutal deaths that you can do on these guys. All right, what do we got here?
The trigger.
Oh, the guns.
That's right, we've saved the best for last. Doom has and always will be all about the guns, and Dark Ages has some of the most ridiculously powerful weapons that we've ever created. Mean, ancient, brutal torture machines built to butcher, impale, and shred the minions of hell with. Only in Doom. That's the mission statement for the design of these never-before-seen, insanely fun-to-use tools of mayhem that only the Slayer has the power to wield. So let's take a look at some extended gameplay footage and see how these medieval mechanics synergize with the enemies and the environments to form the new combat loop for Doom the Dark Ages.
All right, there's one thing you cannot deny, and that is the excitement in this fellow's voice as he's describing his game. It's got me hyped up just as much as the footage does. Those guns, like, did you see the gun with crushing up those skulls as it's shooting? Who thinks of this stuff? These guys are amazing. All right, let's check this out. All right, so I see what's going on here on the screen. If you look on the bottom there, we've got, of course, the health and the shield in the middle, the green and the blue there. Over on the right, you got your gun with the amount of ammo that's in it. You got your shield over on the left-hand side there. And it looks like the gauntlet is right to the left of the gun, and I see it like charging up. I guess you get 3 shots with it, 3 melee shots. So as you use each one, that little drop, it looks like a drop of blood or whatever you want to call it, empties out, and then it slowly will start filling up. So you fill up to those 3 shots again, which is pretty neat. Just a little understanding on how that works, but I was watching how that worked.
And under the hood, for the first time in an id game, we've made our combat more approachable and flexible than ever before, with a new difficulty system and sliders that will allow players to tune the speed and challenge of the game to whatever fits them best. You can slow things down or speed them up. It's a Doom for all Slayers.
And the gameplay doesn't end with just the Slayer. We finally have for you, you've been waiting for 2 games now, to get in and pilot your very own 30-story Atlan, which is a mech.
Oh my god. Alright, we'll back up a second. I like the accessibility features there, being able to customize the gameplay and all that. That's kind of neat. Usually Doom has like, your different modes up to like a nightmare mode or whatever they want to call it. But being able to just tweak, and I like games that do that, certain things like the speed of, or the aggression of an enemy, or the speed of enemy projectiles, little things like that will allow you to customize your combat to make up for a minor deficiency you may have without making the game too easy, right? You may be like, oh, if I just had a little more health, or if I just had, whatever. I like that. This mech, though, this is sick looking.
It's the size of a building. It's powerful. And you can beat giant Titan-sized demons to death with your gauntleted fists. And if that wasn't enough, we also have for you your very own fire-breathing, Gatling gun-toting cybernetic dragon. Neither of these are one-and-done features either. They have a full suite of abilities and even mini-bosses. The spectacle is epic. The Power Fantasy is unlike anything we've made it in. And the combat systems behind these features are deep and tons of fun. And as cool as all that is, we know that fans of single-player action games expect more than just great combat to pull them through the experience. So we're excited to share with you not just the gunplay, but the world of Doom: The Dark Ages.
All right, so yeah, you've got that mech, and then you got a dragon to fly on. That's really neat. These things may not appeal to the purists of Doom, the old school purists. I'm an old school Doom player, but I like these new features. I think they're kind of cool, and it's kind of a refreshing addition to the game. I don't think it's going to take anything away from the game. It might just enrich it a little bit and give us a little something extra. And if it works, we'll see it again in a future iteration of the game. If not, it'll be one and done, and we'll probably never see it again in Doom. But we'll have to check it out and see what happens. It could end up being like your favorite part of the game, or it might be like, oh, those are the levels I really just hate. The jury's going to be out on that until we play it. All right, let's keep going. Check out the exploration.
Your hero's journey will take you to the far reaches of the Doom universe. Mysterious worlds from the Slayer's past, dark forests, dungeons, ancient hellscapes, battlefields, and worlds beyond. And through exploration, you'll be unlocking new abilities and godlike powers every step of the way. Now armed with your trusty shield saw, you're gonna cut, leap, and smash your way through environments full of secrets and treasures. There's always something new waiting to be discovered or destroyed. Now let's take a closer look at just one of the many missions you'll experience in Doom: The Dark Ages. In this level, you will meet the enemy at the gates and save a city from certain destruction. Explore the medieval battlefield outside the castle walls, seeking out targets and enemy formations along the way to engage with as you see fit, with any gun you choose. explore what is the largest play space ever in a Doom game, discovering secret caves and dungeon-like mines in search of vital resources. You control the pace of the game. Where you go, who you fight, and the objectives you pursue. It's a Doom sandbox full of war and riches. Once you've broken the enemy assault, head back to the main gates, because the battle isn't over yet.
God, I'm pumped. So it looks like they've kind of changed things up a little bit. Like the old style Doom was you enter an area and you defeat the enemies in that area. Sometimes there's a set amount of enemies, but usually it was like waves, right? You had X amount of waves of X amount of enemies that you had to defeat, and then you moved on to the next area. This looks like it's going to be structured a little bit differently, and I could be wrong. It might still work in the wave-like fashion and all that, but this almost looks like it's a preset number of enemies and where they're located and all that, and you can actually strategically make your way through their ranks and fight them, and then and like I said, do the extra exploration and all that. Doom always had secret rooms and little places you can go off and find secrets. Like he had like the bobblehead looking things in Doom 2016 and all that. The secret levels, like the classic Doom levels and all that. So that's nothing new like they're talking about here in the secret areas. But it looks like they're leaning more into the exploration and making the world bigger and a little less linear than Doom normally is, which is kind of cool actually, I like that idea. Instead of just, going from point A to point B, to be able to go around and about and figure out different ways to beat a certain level is kind of nice. So if that's the way it's going to work, congratulations. That's awesome. That's a great way to beef up the game and make it even better than it was before, in my opinion.
And the soundtrack to your epic adventures will be composed by the award-winning team at Finishing Move, providing you with a metal soundscape that's loaded with guitars, medieval vibes, and pure adrenaline. You'll feel like you're expanding the legend of the Slayer with every mission you complete. And speaking of that legend, the story of Doom: The Dark Ages, like everything else in the game, is big. It's a summer blockbuster event with everything on the line, and you are the star of the show. Your power is coveted by your enemies and withheld from your allies. With the Slayer imprisoned at the start of our story, the balance of power between good and evil is shifting, and time is running out. It's a new story and the perfect entry point for new players. It's easier to access now as we've taken the narrative out of the codex and into the cutscenes, featuring new characters, old allies, and powerful new villains. And for returning players, it leads directly into the Doom 2016 Slayer's Testaments. It's an action story worthy of the Slayer's legend.
We've got 10 years of making modern Doom games together, and we've done better with every game we've made.
The hope with all this, the goal, is to give players an experience that's as fun to play as it was to make, and make something that's good enough to become the best game id has ever made.
But that is for you to decide. When Doom: The Dark Ages releases,
Take my money. Wow, it looks incredible. Yeah, the soundtrack, man. Doom has always been metal. I love the music of the series. It's always been one of the biggest selling points. I'm an old metalhead, so I've always loved that guitar work and that crunchy stuff and all that. Let me know what you guys think of this game, man. This is the game. This is a great game. It's a no BS game. It looks like just good, violent action, fun, and oh my God, it looks incredible. They have strayed from the formula a little bit of Doom. which we'll have to see how that plays out. Like with the cutscenes and all that. And, other Doom games have had cutscenes, of course. Putting more of the story in there might extend them a little bit, might slow down the action a little bit in the pacing. That may upset some old school Doom purists. I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out. Hopefully it's not a bad thing, and hopefully they're skippable then. If you're that type of a player and you're not really concerned about the story so much, you just want to keep slaying demons, well, you can skip those cutscenes, hopefully. I don't like codexes personally. I'm the type of player that, if I'm picking up data points or books and stuff like that, I don't read them. They just go into my inventory and they sit there unread for, the rest of the game pretty much, unless I absolutely have to go refer to something at some point. And I know that's doing the game and the lore a disservice, but that's me. That's how I play a game. I don't like it. Now, if I pick up a data point and it starts talking, well, great. I'll listen to it and all that. A cutscene I won't skip. I'll watch the cutscene, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's just something about a block of text during a video game just kind of annoys me. It's like, really? I'm not here to read all this text. It's kind of annoying and frustrating at that point. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm hyped, got to see what, this is probably available for pre-order. I'm not going to pre-order it yet. I'm going to wait, I'll wait, I may pre-order this a few days before it comes out. We'll see what happens with, as it gets a little closer to release day, once some of the reviews come out, early reviews and stuff like that. I have faith though. It has delivered 2 very solid games so far, and this one looks really straight up my alley, more so than the first 2 Doom games. So I'm looking forward to it. Don't forget to leave a like on the video down below, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for notifications. I will see you guys next time. Until then, peace.